Welcome to the Beyond Physio podcast, where we help you move, excel, and inspire others on your journey to your next level with knowledge and advice from experts and testimonials from our like-minded community. Hey, Dr. Brad. So today I'm going to actually introduce Dr. Brad Hudson to our team down in the Cary and Raleigh area. Dr. Brad comes in with a whole bunch of experience in sports in general, but he himself is a former Division I baseball player. He's also worked with quite extensively with Division I cross-country athletes over in the University of Utah. Correct. Brad, welcome, and I'm so glad that you're on our team down in North Carolina. Tell us about your journey to becoming a physical therapist.
Yeah, it really all started as a kid. I was really an athletic kid. I played a lot of sports, mainly baseball growing up was my main sport. And I experienced injury. My first actual injury was a groin strain, a pull.
Yeah.
And that was probably around 13-ish. And that was the first time I was exposed to PT. And didn't know it at the time, but I liked the process of that. And then through high school, really fell in love. I had some mentor, a speed coach in Miami. His name was Randy Smythe. And then my PTs that I had from in high school as well, they just really shaped what I loved about strength conditioning, speed and agility work, and then ultimately the rehab and the getting back from injury. So that's really where the love of PT kind of started.
So you had a personal experience as an injured athlete, and from there, did you decide to major in something physical therapy related in undergrad, or how'd that go?
Yeah, I was a kinesiology, so I did exercise science in undergrad.
Very nice.
And I originally wanted to just go into strength conditioning.
Oh, just
as a pure strength conditioning coach. But after my freshman year, I looked at where I was at in school and just decided I really like both, so I think I'm gonna try to pursue a further degree from there.
Cool. So you went from undergrad playing Division I ball, and then you went to Duke for your doctoral program, which is very impressive.
Correct.
One of the top programs in the country. So it's great that you went through that.
Shout out Duke.
Yeah, shout out Duke. And now, at what point once you went to grad school, did you decide that you wanted to be basically in orthopedics and sports from there?
Yeah, I went into grad school and through PT school on that track the whole time. A lot of my professors and a lot of mentors said, hey, keep an open mind, you'll never know what you actually do, but I didn't change. I stood the course. Yeah, I always wanted to go into ortho and sports.
Got it. And I know you've worked with a lot of ball players and overhead athletes, and obviously you worked with a lot of runners as well. Is there a population that you gravitate towards nowadays?
Yeah, I think overhead, a lot of the times, very unilateral type sports, so golf, baseball, softball, volleyball, very unilateral sports. So I think that's where I really liked, but I also like the end stage of some rehab with some speed and agility work too.
Yeah.
But I would say I'm a variety guy. I do like a good variety in my caseload, but yeah, especially those overhead athletes I do.
Cool. Now, for Next Level, as far as when we interviewed you and we met, I liked you right away, which is nice. What were some things that I said, or Dr. Megan, or maybe Karen, or maybe one of our leadership team members in New Jersey, was there anything in those conversations that came about to where you felt like this is a place that I want to be?
Yeah, great question. I think really it was attention to detail was a big thing, very detail oriented and just about every way, process of what you do, how you treat patients, getting really detailed with everybody. Environment was a big thing. Culture was also a big thing. So from my talks with everybody on the team, it seemed like he had a really good culture and a really good approach to this physical therapy.
That's for sure. Now, how do you think you're going to be able to add to our team with all your experiences up to date?
Yeah, I think my experiences have really shaped who I am and my opinions about things. And I think going forward with Next Level, I really think that having the on-field experience, personal experience going through a lot of injuries myself and being in that environment of being with athletes, I think is really helpful in the way that you can relate to people.
Definitely.
And you can know what they're going through.
Yeah. Now, Brett, I want you, if you're okay sharing, you have been through some trauma yourself. Unfortunately, it wasn't glorious trauma, we'll just say. I'll precede it with that, but talk to us about your own recent injury, which is crazy.
Yeah, so in March of this year, I was wakeboarding in Arizona, and I ended up breaking my femur.
Very rare.
Very rare.
So, guy your age especially.
Yeah, mid-shaft fracture. So I got an entire IM nail, so the whole rod from knee to hip. And it was a very different experience from my other ones. Like, I had a big surgery in high school. I had Tommy John surgery.
You did? Okay.
And then in college, I had a wrist surgery as well.
Oh, so you've been in the bleed already.
I've been under it. And I think it was a little bit different with those because I had a little bit of time to process what was going to happen, the plan. This was a immediate plan, like we had to get it done. So I went from doing everything I loved to nothing really quickly. And that definitely opened my eyes to a lot of different areas because I haven't had a ton of lower extremity, like big traumas. And it's really opened my eyes and be able to see how much actual effort it takes to get back to the level you want to.
Yeah, it's funny because a lot of the frustrations that our runners, hybrid athletes, golfers, pickleballers have is that you're going from one day where you can do all the things you love to do, and then you have an injury that came out of the blue where all of a sudden you can't do those things. And for you in your case, even walking was definitely a challenge in itself because you couldn't weight-bear through that leg. What kind of things would you tell clients who've been suffering for a little while and haven't been able to get back to what they love to do to get them to see that the path is there for them?
Setting out small wins, small goals in the bigger picture. If you break everything down in rehab or PT or training into phases, and when you go through every phase, there's small goals in every bit of that. So you can see through the phase. Don't lose the big picture in mind, but take those small wins as you get them, because those small wins add up and they become big wins.
They definitely compound.
Yeah.
Yeah, it reminds me of our process. And for all of our clients who've been through this, you all know you've seen the expectation versus reality graph on our whiteboard. And oftentimes in rehab, in my experience over the past 20 years, there's a lot of ups and downs along the way of getting to where you want to be. But as long as you have a plan in place and the right plan for you, and as long as you know that there are going to be times you're not going to feel that great, the trajectory 9 out of 10 times is going to be on getting back to what you want to do. Like you said, and I love that you said that, small wins are really important. And if you've been through our experience, there's always a small win, even if it's something small and minute that you might not consider to be a big win or small win even as a client. For us, those little things that change over time, really good. And small wins do, in my opinion, smaller wins over time are more sustainable than getting these big, fast wins and you go back to ground zero again. I think you said that really well. What about for our younger athletes who are maybe struggling with not being able to perform at their very best at the college level? What are some things that you've been able to tell them to get past those valleys?
Yeah, with athletics, it's so hard because you do so much, right? So I think really when you have an athlete, you need to dive in what they're doing, how much they're doing, and really get down to the nitty gritty, because we said it with the goals, the small things add up. So every little bit of a small thing with an athlete, if they're doing more, if they're doing extra, that's all stress on the body. I think it's a lot of times with them, like having a good plan to manage their load so they can perform their best. That's probably the biggest thing, because athletes don't have a problem doing things. It's about not doing some stuff.
100%. And by the way, when Dr. Brett says athlete, he does mean older athlete too. Yep. We had a very interesting case this afternoon where we have a gentleman who is way stronger than I'll ever be, and he's in his 60s, or to be 60 soon. And he thought he wasn't doing enough, we'll just say. And Dr. Brett and I are like, this guy's crushing it. It's about putting the brakes on when we need to be putting the brakes on. So having that physio coaching, quote unquote, we'll say, really critical in the rehab process, especially if you are the overachiever type or you're the person who doesn't want to wait and you're impatient about results. Really important to be able to put the brakes on once in a while so that you don't overdo it and end up back in a phase one or end up regressing because you overdid it. And that, I think, is what defines a lot of our clients. They really want to get back to what they want to do, and we're so excited to get them back as well. But we got to put on the restraints in order for them to do it in a way that's not going to get them in trouble as they continue to progress.
And to add to that, like the best thing about that is the motivation that they have. Because sometimes that's the hardest part.
Yes.
So if you have the motivation, it makes it a lot easier and more enjoyable. You just need some of that guidance to really have a good plan going forward.
That's for sure. Now, Brett, let's get into things that you like to do for yourself outside, because all of us, whether you're in New Jersey, North Carolina, A lot of us love to lift, love to run, love to do CrossFit, play golf, tennis, that kind of stuff. What do you love to do?
Yeah, so all that typical stuff.
Yeah.
I mainly lift and I play golf a lot. Outside of that, I hunt and fish quite a bit. And
That's cool.
That is mainly fishing you can do whenever, but winter and spring is mainly the hunting seasons.
Wow.
So I do that, and then me and my wife, we really go to a lot of country concerts.
Really?
So that's our go-to.
That's one area where I don't know if I can agree with you. I tried so hard to enjoy country, and many of our clients know, like I've really tried. I gave it a 6-month stint, and the 6 months were for me very painful, and I just can't get into it. But hey, you know
You weren't
what?
listening to the right country.
Yes, maybe that's exactly what I keep hearing too. With that being said, now, Brad, what about like your guilty pleasures, like as far as food goes? What is your thing to go to?
Oh, 100% ice cream.
Ice cream. Any flavor in particular?
I've shared this with a few people already. Like my favorite is a coconut flavor. With Heath Bar and caramel. That's the two.
That.
You just anywhere that they have like toppings and stuff.
Oh,
like that,
okay, you just put it in there.
Go-to. Or I've recently gotten the Ninja Creamy, so I made my own.
So everyone talks
really
about
good.
that, yeah.
My next phase is like there's this coconut flavored protein that
Really?
I'm gonna try out.
That's
the
really
protein
clever.
recipe one.
I like that.
So a little bit healthier.
Yes. I did make a protein ice cream, actually, using frozen fruit and then 2 scoops of whey protein and a little water and using an immersion blender. Sure. And that really seemed to, I was like, it's not quite the real thing, but it's close enough on days I have to like be a little bit better about my eating.
Absolutely.
Cool. So, Brad, any other words that come to mind when you think about the kind of clients that we treat at Next Level and the kind of impact you want to have in their lives that you want to share with our audience?
Yeah, I think really the main thing is stay motivated, stay after your goals because you can get to them. That's where we can help, is just guide you to get to your goals and really stay the course with anything. Nothing good comes easy, so whenever you've put in a lot of work and you can see what you've achieved over your work that you actually did is the best and most rewarding thing.
Awesome. Dr. Brad, I'm really happy again that you're part of our team down in North Carolina. Dr. Brad is also going to work towards becoming our golf expert down here, as we have Dr. Anthony up in New Jersey, so I'm really excited about that. We definitely have a lot of golfers here who could really use our help, and with the one-on-one approach that we have, I don't think there are going to be many people better than Dr. Brad, so very excited about that. And we'll stay tuned, listen to our next podcast, and talk to you later.
Thanks so much for tuning into today's episode. It really does mean a lot to us. And don't forget to like, share, subscribe, or comment if you got at least 1 or 2 helpful insights or takeaways to help you get to your next level.